2019. What a year. As the year comes to an end, I like to sit back and reflect upon it and think about what has happened, what I would have liked to happen, and what I could do different for next year. For the last week, I've been on winter break, and one of the joys of being on winter break is each day I get to go out on a walk with my wife, Barbara, and we get to have time to talk and time to reflect. I was asking her about her year, about in 2019, what positive things happened, what areas of growth happened, and what would you like to see different for next year? The other day, I asked her one question. I said, if you could choose 5 things to symbol what your year in 2019 was like, what 5 symbols would they be? Of course, she did what all good wives do. She flipped it back on me and asked me what were my 5 symbols. So I reflected upon it. And I want to share with you all today what my 5 things would be. First off, running. My running shoes. One of the things I've concentrated this year on is get out and get back and start exercising. Now I have a long way to go, but I've actually started to do it. September 1st, I've been running every day since September 1st, at least 1 mile, if not more. And that has allowed me to clear my head, to get a little bit more physically active, to get a little bit healthier, to make myself more present in my daily duties. So my first symbol would be running for exercise. Next would be a soccer ball. Now, soccer ball in our family represents so much. As many of you know, I have four children, and 3 of them this year played travel soccer, where we were traveling all over the state of California, and my other one was just playing rec soccer here in our hometown. Soccer has given us an opportunity for family time. Often people ask me, what am I going to do this weekend? They already know the answer. We have some type of soccer tournament. Sometimes we're divided into 3 or 4 different spots that we need to go here and here and here and here. Just a couple weekends ago, we put 350 miles on the car for one child's soccer tournament, while the other child had a tournament in a different city. So soccer this year has been a huge part for me. It's one of those things that make me sad to think that one day my wife and I will look at each other and say, hey, what are we going to do today? And we won't be able to say soccer. We won't be able to say that we're going out and doing that. I'm lucky enough to be able to ref my kids' soccer games. I've been able to coach them. I've been able to cheer them on. And soccer has provided us an outlet for family time. And for that, I'll ever cherish it. Next up, my number 3 would be books. Be the One for Kids and Principles in Action. Principles in Action was able to be published this year. I'm super excited to be able to have written this with Jay Posick and Mark French. And then Be the One for Kids, I've been able to spread the message and continuing to spread the message around the world. This book has changed my life. This book has allowed me to share with educators the power that they have to change the life of others. I'm going to continue spreading the message. I'm going to continue doing the work. But Be the One for Kids and Principles in Action have played a huge part in 2019 for me. Next up would be my phone. My phone represents so much in my life. Yes, it's a way to communicate with others, but it's also my computer that I take with me each and every day as a principal from classroom to classroom. This right here allows me to be mobile. It allows me to be connected. Now, with those positives come negative as well. Sometimes I too fall into the trap of mind-numbing scrolling of social media. Mind-numbing, just looking and staring at my phone, seeing what's going on, rather than connecting with people around me. So for 2020, one of my goals is to make sure that I am only creating and not consuming with my phone. We'll see how that works. And the last thing that represents my 2019 would be this headlamp. And so when I was talking with my wife, she asked me, she said, why 2 running things? Running wasn't that prevalent in your life. And I told her, I said, no, this represents something else. This represents something different. If you know me, you know that I'm pretty outspoken. You know that if I see something that I think needs to be changed, I'm going to shed the light on it. And by me doing that, It allows for a conversation. Now, I'm not saying to do that each and every time without tact. I know sometimes I do it without tact. I know that about myself. But we need to delicately have the conversations that lead to change. Too often, the leaders, the people in position of power that can make the change, don't actually know what's happening. They haven't had that conversation. People are afraid to have the conversation with them that can lead to change. In 2019, I've had those conversations. In 2019, I've had those battles. I've continued to fight what I feel is for the right thing, for kids, and for those people around me. So in the year 2019, my 5 things are running shoes, soccer balls, books, phones, and headlamps. In 2020, what's going to happen for you? What is your goal for 2020? I can't reflect on 2019 without coming up with new goals for 2020. My goals for 2020 are simple. I want to be more present. I want to connect more, and I want to continue to help others. Now I say I want to be present. What I mean by that is I want to be there for my children. I want to be there for my family. I want to continue down my path of being a husband and a father. But I can't do that. I can't feel fulfilled just doing that without continuing to work around me. So in 2020, one of the cool projects that we're going to be launching is we're going to be launching the Be the One for Kids podcast. Now I'm creating that, but I'm creating that with my kids. My son Robert, who's my 13-year-old, he is going to be part of that journey. He's going to be co-hosting the podcast with me where we talk with educators around the world about education and parenting. Because when we can incorporate our kids on our journey, it's going to allow us to connect with them, and it's allow for us to grow within that relationship. This year, he turned 13. I know, I have a 13-year-old. I can't believe it. And for growing up, I was the second oldest of 8 kids. And for my 13th birthday, my dad would always take us, the child turning 13, to an amusement park. That was something special, something we look forward to. This year, I decided with my kids, I'm going to take them on a one-on-one camping trip with Dad. And so for his 13th birthday, he opened up in the morning, he opened up a flint and steel kit. And so we took that camping, and I allowed him to have that productive struggle to create a fire. And what has that shown me is that it shows me that during these times of building relationships, we can let our kids struggle. We can let our kids think through the challenges they're faced and come out ahead with them by standing right next to them. So being present, connecting with others, and trying to help others, educators and parents just like me, become a little bit better. What 5 things represent your 2019? And what are your goals for 2020? Happy New Year to everyone, and enjoy this time with your family and your friends.